early in the AM, man. Had a blast in Jersey. Seen some family members, got things done. Seen some old homies, took some pictures. Person I really wanted to see, he didn't pop up. Well, he was there early in the AM to the afternoon. But due to a situation, I missed the flight. And think if I was so weak for the flesh that I would have made it on time, 'cause I would have just said, "Fuck you, I'm out." Welcome to the 400 Club Rooftop Talk with your boy Ye. And the title is "Speak to the Flesh: The Real Reason You're Single." Everybody wants to be in a relationship. At the same time, everybody wants to do what they want in a relationship. So if they can't have both, they'd rather stay single. Yeah, temporarily get that love and affection and stuff like that. But after that, they want to have the they want to have the space to do what they want to do. You want to have the space to do what you want to do. And being that we're not in a society where we have to be married and have certain types of principles installed when it comes down to the relationship. We do what the fuck we want to do. That's the reason why I'm opening this up today. We could have fleshed the real reason you are single. Now I know everybody on Clubhouse is damn near perfect, and everybody doesn't want to really talk about how they are weak to the flesh because it makes them look weak. The word weak, everybody's weak. We're human. Everybody falls to something. Uh, I don't know. What can we do about this? So, us more gonna cause it's gonna you're gonna need to be more disciplined. And everybody hates structure. That's what everybody fears, being structured. Why? If structure is something that brings some type of peace to you, because you know what's going to happen, you know how things going to go, because you planned it. Organization. Why be afraid? Be disciplined. So, welcome, listeners, to the topic weak to the flesh. The reason why you are single. So, I want to define weak to the flesh, giving into temptation, instant gratification, lust, and bad habits or unhealthy attachments. While this conversation matters, being honest about what keeps you single. Chasing physical pleasure over emotional connection. I think this is a big one right there. Chasing physical pleasure over emotional connections. Why do we do that? I feel as though emotions, and everyone else, I know you're gonna agree with it, emotions stick longer. Emotions don't come and go. Flesh, men and women, they come and go, but the emotion stand. Who could forget about someone that they tried to make something with, but that person wasn't on the same level as you, and then you find yourself by yourself. Uh, Selling for situations or hookups instead of building something real is a problem for most people. Like I said, if you go into something and you are really weary on where this person stands, rather just hook up. But to me, hooking up still takes some type of liking. I don't know about the emotions, temporary emotion, maybe infatuation, maybe that's how. Over prioritizing looks, money, or status over character and compatibility. Well, over prioritizing looks, money, or status over character and compatibility. This right here, when it comes down to people getting attention, addiction to attention. So nowadays, you already know we have social media, dating apps. It's like them that everything around you pushes you to fuck around. Like it's so much temptation out there. It's like, well, it causes confusion. Um, I know without social media and stuff like that, it's still a little bit of temptation growing up in my days, right? Still, but yeah, it's hard for you to get, close to someone that you didn't know. In social media, if you just check it out, everybody just giving up the pussy for the money, dating for a little bit. Some people get hooked, some people don't. But with social media uh, being the main factor, I think that's the main factor. That addiction to attention, and you get it. You don't even have to look that good in there. What's up, sexy? Oh, what's up, handsome? How you doing? Oh my God. Now we can talk about how the flesh keeps you single. Constantly choosing short term over long term. God, short term over long term. What the hell? Renting motherfuckers out. People are renting you out, leasing you. What else but temporary property at this nowadays? Attracting people who only see you as temporary is one of the things that some people try to turn into a blind eye towards. Like, how this person like me? Well, fuck it. If this person don't like me, it's somebody else that's gonna be there that will like. it goes to the same thing when you be in a relationship or talking to someone. Someone is always going to feel like, man, why should I deal with this? What and if what you do, somebody else will do. Like where I don't know if that's an immature thing. I don't know if it's a selfish thing, but I know it's one of the things that keep a person single. You're not used to being told no, 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 no. Somebody tell you no, you catch a temper tantrum over that. That's crazy. I've been told no plenty of times and didn't go out and do what I did. After a while, not gonna lie, I was beat to the flesh. I mean, I'm coming from a place where where everybody looks the same. Something coming in different is called exotic. And when I moved from one place, that's one state to another, oh my God, it was just everybody liked the black flesh. That shit, they just like flesh. They just like something new. Another thing is self sabotaging relationship because of um unmet internal needs. There we go again, being selfish, internal needs. So if you have one need, this person here meets that one. If this person can't meet all the needs, you go to the next person and then the next person, giving them some type of a job for you mentally, because internally you need these certain things to be met. That after a while is very draining. It can cause you to be a person, person that really don't give a shit who they hurting because they want it all. I think that's one of the main things why people remain single, tipped into the flesh and losing trust in yourself and others. After a while it's like, okay, I can't be if I know this person is fucking with me and they have a significant other, why should I be any different? Why should I be special with someone that's not gonna do the same exact thing to me? So why be in a relationship? Now you lost trust in that person because you really don't trust yourself. Like so a lot of things people will have to take that look in that mirror and see that there's a problem. When a person is not accountable or responsible, those are one of the main things that they would throw on someone else is not trusting themselves, leads them to not trusting others. So is it a way that you can overcome these things? Yes, it is. It's going to take a lot of work. When a lot of people notice that, the life that they were living is not going to be conducive to the life that they're going to try to live further for the future. So they try to overcome it. Sometimes people try to use therapy. They isolate themselves. It's a lot of things people do, right? So one thing, practicing self control and delay of gratification. Practicing self control and delay of gratification. Mm. So that means the work. That's one of the things you have to do. That's the work you got to put in. Everything's still going to be tempting, even more tempting because you're trying to be something different. Maturity as well as you getting hurt at the same time too. Clarifying what you really want in a partner is how you overcome it too. But thing is, it goes to the first one. If you have lost and trust in yourself, you still got to build trust in yourself in order to what? To overcome certain things because you went off to the deep end. Healing from past hurts that make you chase the wrong thing and building discipline, spirituality, mentally and emotionally is what a lot of people do to try to get over things. Is that a challenge of this stuff? It is. It's more of to me putting yourself around like-minded people, isolating yourself from the world. That's what you really have to do, and that's hard when you are surrounded by shit that's tempting. Wow. So back to that. Hey, Rico, my guy, Rico, early in the AM, my boy. What do you think, Rico? What have you heard so far, my boy?
Oh,
Good
I just
morning.
came in. I just came in. I was listening to you. I'm trying to gauge what. Give me a little more insight.
He the goddess. Good morning. Good morning, man.
Good AM.
Um,
I've been listening to him for a minute. He been talking his stuff, man. Like legitimately talking about people having a hard time committing or being in relationships because they're weak to their flesh, not taking the time to heal, not taking the time to isolate, not reconnecting with self so that you could reconnect with others because you're so used to using other people to fill the void that you can't fill by filling it. Like if a lot of people, hypersexual folks, I do agree, have a tendency to try to fill spiritual and emotional voids with physical behaviors. the physical, carnal behavior that is sex. So yeah, I'm proud of you, Yay. That's why I was just sitting and listening to you talk your stuff, because yeah, love to see it. Dope topic.
Thank you, Tia. Appreciate it. Rico, so what are you? I mean, like, I know people say things like I'm single because I want to be single, but to me, a lot of people know that they have to work on things, and they know they're not ready. And some people see it as an embarrassment. That's the worst thing that you can really deal with when you're trying to heal. I'm single because I want to. No, you're not healed yet. You know you're not healed. We know you're not healed. Some people come in there, you can hear when they speak uh, that they're not healed. And then at the same time, you got people that are too proud to tell people that they are weak to the flesh. And it's hard to be with one person if you can have it all. Later on, you'll start feeling as though, oh man, this is not conducive to where I'm trying to go. And then you start to do some self reflecting. And I also talk about the mistrust this period of time that you're going through, whatever you're going through, the mistrust that you have in yourself leads to you having mistrust in people, and that's hard. When you don't trust yourself, one thing, how can you trust someone else? If you don't love yourself, if how can you trust someone else? All of that is hard. I mean, you can speak. It's okay. Doctor, what's going on? Go ahead. No, can you put up your
Uh,
X's? Go ahead.
I just maybe I'm aged out in reality and shit like that, or maybe I'm like just kind of fucking jaded or whatever. But I don't think there's a such thing as people being healed. I stay away from that as far as I possibly can. And when I hear people say it, I guess I kind of get triggered. I guess I kind of like put up emojis and shit. Like whatever you go through in life, like if there's pain or trauma associated with that, I think that stays with you forever. And the only thing that you can do is learn to cope with it. Like the idea of like being healed, that means like going back to what you were before the shit happened. That means like reversing time or some shit. Like I don't know. Like it's going to change you forever. Whatever it is, whatever heartache or pain that you suffered through, you're changed. There is no healing. Finally, I think the better way to look at it is to say that this made me grow. But heal, I'm good. I'm definitely good on that. And I think it's a talking point that is overused. It is misunderstood, understudied, underdiscussed, and it needs to be abolished from the English language. The word heal, because nothing
So,
heals.
oh, so I meant to speak on that too, because to a certain degree, I do agree. I think it's very arrogant of us as humans to think that um, we could just set aside the experiences that actually make us who we are, and act as though it's not an ongoing, like life is not an ongoing, ever learning, ever evolving sort of, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, experience. So yeah, I feel you with that. I, however, I do think that it- the work can be done to at least be able to acknowledge, self evaluate, be aware, figure out where those limitations are, where they come from, um, and you know do the work from that point forward. So, yeah, if you want to dialogue, feel free, instead of the emojis. I don't feel
Yeah.
any way.
Yeah.
Well, the only reason why I'm putting up
Hello.
these
How are you
emojis,
all?
Charles, one
the only
second. Good day. Go ahead, unknowable.
The only reason I'm putting up these emojis is because you disagreed with me, which I respect. Well, first of all, you agreed with me, which I respect. Then you disagreed with me, which I also respect. But then you changed the words. So, like I said, we should focus on the word heal in my thesis. But then you changed it and said, well, we could do other stuff, whatever other words you use. No, heal. There is no healing. Like you can't say, oh, I agree with you when you say that, and then say, no, but I give pushback because I do believe that we can also do the work all these phrases. That's not what I disagree with. I don't have no problem with doing the work and whatever else you said. What I'm saying is the idea of healing is bullshit.
So respectfully, there was no pushback. I just added perspective. I'm not here to argue or to be right.
Um,
um, I was just saying that like I agree that quote unquote healed should be abolished because as life continues, you recognize that there are things that you may have thought you healed from that won't come up for you unless you're dealing with someone that you allow yourself to be seen by, and then that shows you where your limitation is. But go ahead, T baby.
oh yes, I think this is a wonderful topic. I think with the modern pseudo intellectualism, pseudo psychology, the the social media psychology, which isn't real. I think that we do throw around the word healed, but I do understand the connotation which people are using or utilizing. But I do agree with what the panel is talking about, that you don't it's more coping, right? I think that typically the human journey is that of coping, which is to effectively deal with difficult things, right? So I think that's the thing, is that a lot of people are needing to learn how to effectively deal with, things that's happened to them, things of the past. I do agree that those things never leave you, right? If you've experienced one thing, you will always know that you will never be the person you were before you knew that. It's like virginity. You never get it back. You never get a certain level of innocence back from something you did not know prior to. And I think that humans tend to do better whenever we focus on that versus trying to regain something that we'll never regain again. And it's okay if that's the case.
I think we're stuck in this terminology, right? I get it, right? The word heal may not mean that, right? To not totally recover. Joy, you okay this morning? Good morning.
Hey, what up, bro? Good morning.
Right. To recover for something. But I think what from what I've been hearing, what T and Ye and others people have been saying, it's more of a recognition of, okay, these things happened to me. This thing was painful to me. And although I may have to live with it forever, there's a recognition. And what purpose does that serve? One way that serves you is I don't never want to go down this road again. I want to look for these things earlier to be more protective of myself. And I'm in recognition that these things happen to me. So now I want to be more, take more time to make sure that I don't fall into these same pit traps or whatever again. So that's one thing. It provides. And another thing is maybe these things were happening to you and you wasn't outspoken about it. You kind of like sat in it. So next, I think what also this does is it empowers you to be like, hey, if I do encounter this again, I'm going to speak up for myself. And I'm not going to let anyone mistreat me the same way that I've done in the past, or let anyone or me just kind of quietly take this thing like sitting down or exit, whatever that may look like, whatever your strategy may be. So I think you have to come to terms with accountability, saying that I can see the part that I played in either doing it or allow it to be done to me. And then I think another part is that is, what is your plan moving forward? Okay, I now want to move forward to where I know what this kind of looks like. I recognize it. I'm not in denial anymore. I'm more astute and more aware of these things. So I'm kind of navigating around this thing essentially. So I don't, even though you may not, and I'm a land, may not totally be healed to the point to where that trauma may still be there, you still are stronger for what you went through to know that what it looks like if it comes to you in the future.
Mm. Damn, I walked into good shit.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful. I put in the chat that um I think it's the effective healing, or the effective coping, I mean, that people struggle with the most. I think, as I've also stated in the chat, the human experience is about retaining knowledge and growth. I have a daughter, I teach her things and she retains them to grow older, better, and to get better at survival for herself. And I think that when, humans, we experience things, a lot of times we don't know how to deal with them, how to cope with them. We don't know how to cope with the death of a close loved one. We don't know how to cope with a breakup. We don't know how to cope with, a certain status in society, the shifting of status in society and things of that nature. So I know that, people bring up, being healed and healing. Um, I think it's just a focus of effectively dealing with, what happens to you in this journey to just stay, together and to stay moving forward and to grow and to become a better person through those experiences.
Mm.
Um, I think everything works out the way that it's supposed to, as long as as long as you follow the plan, as long as you follow the flow of what's happening.
What's the plan though?
Um,
It depends on what
Like,
that
I
is for
mean,
you and what it is that you're looking to gain from the journey of life, what you're looking to be, what you're looking to become, what you're looking to experience and feel, and all of those things.
okay, I mean, but I think also, and I'm not disagreeing with. I mean, I definitely challenge it because that's always fun, and that's why we have conversations to grow. Um, like you just said that thing, and I asked that question, and you said, "Well, that depends on whatever." Just by the way you articulated that, you should have already included that, but you didn't, which is why I asked the question. So that gave more clarity, right? So you have to be very articulate in the way you're going to be expressing things. Also, I think that are we still on the week to flash thing? Or are we going off the Rico? You gotta recenter me on exactly like what we're on.
When we're talking about,
Why are you off your mic if you don't even know what's going on? Leave the room.
Oh, bro.
great
What
Oh
the
point.
wait.
good
fuck is
morning,
going on?
everybody. Good morning.
Yo, my
Welcome to
bad for
Yay
trying to.
400
All right,
South.
cool, fine. I'll hit it. Jesus.
Yeah, what we're talking about here, basically, Jordan, is in relationships, people that don't want to they're single because they haven't gained the ability or they haven't come to terms with past things that happened to them. You can use trauma, you can use whatever that came in past relationships, and so refusal to accept these things is keeping you kind of in this period of you being afraid, or maybe you not acknowledging these things that happen to you. And a lot of us, to be quite honest, we're dragging these things into the next relationships. Or T, I think, made the point, or maybe Ye made the point about just using sex as some type of, like go in between. Like you're not really doing, helping yourself, but you're actually trying to use another person to kind of like bump you along. You never really the full version of you. You just kind of like, just kind of playing in this area of, oh, like if I just do these little mini kind of like entanglements, or I don't know, situationships, whatever you want to call it. But the real work lies within yourself. And that's what we've been talking about this morning.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
No, I mean I appreciate you for clarification because I mean I felt like that was what it was, but I didn't want to like randomly accidentally go down like a whole sidetrack, just because I thought it was a certain way. You know why you have memory, right? It's been scientifically proven in psychology studies and all this other shit. And so you learn how to not make the same mistakes again, right? So the past is not something you should avoid. You should learn from it so you don't do the same shit again. It's you have to find a purpose in the pain and all that other shit, even with like relationships and everything else like that. And just quick side note with that sex thing you're talking about, I like some of us get so lost and just trying to play by everybody else's rules. We live a life where we put on so many different masks every 4 hours in the day or 2 hours in the day, depending on how
What's your point?
I'm getting there. If you would actually let me get there, you know.
Okay, that was a long pause. Are you?
Well, yeah, I
Are
mean, because
you?
if I'm gonna be rudely interrupted and it's just gonna be that way, then cool. Apparently unknowable or whatever the fuck. You're gonna be rude like that,
Jordan,
then
let's stay
land.
focused, please. Jordan, you were making a good point, so just continue, please. Don't allow yourself to be derailed, is all I'm saying. Continue.
That's the problem with ADHD.
What was that?
He ain't
I know. I mean, I know the point I'm making. I mean,
he
it's
ain't got
just
no point, y'all.
Well, okay.
I agree with.
We're gonna go on because now it's getting awkward and stuff like that. So, T, you wanted to add on before I say something?
Yeah, and just to Jordan's point, I get what you commented on before, but what you were saying is pretty much what I was getting to, is that the point of experiences and, like you said, memory is to retain, things that you learn, and it's just how we are as the particular, mammal that we are, that's how we survive, is through instincts, is through, learning and all of that, jazz. And so, yeah, I think that people definitely are just not, just back to the point that I was saying and what you were also saying in your own words, Jordan, is that people are just not effectively dealing with what what they experience. I think that's something I've even struggled with even here lately, in my life, is just really learning what to do with what I know, what to do with what I've experienced. And also, to Jordan's point, is to maybe avoid those things in the future, to learn something and to turn it into something positive for my future. Um, I think that also because of how societal norms are, I think it's become something that people just don't feel the need to do. I think that situationships are very common. I think hookup culture is to avoid dealing with real things, dealing with the real mind, heart, and soul of a person.
You're going off
Um,
topic.
no,
Bro,
I'm
can you
not. I'm
let
talking
someone
about.
finish
I'm
a
talking about
goddamn
We
sentence?
don't
Right
we don't
over.
need any assistance with moderation. Please allow
Right.
people to finish speaking, and then you can speak to the point or not speak to her point at all.
Yeah.
Continue, T baby.
So I'll end my plane here. I think that it is. I think the reason why people use sex as a coping mechanism, instead of actually doing the work, is because it's just simply easier. It takes a lot of work. I think, with me unfortunately leaving an abusive relationship that ended about 4 years ago now. I think there was a point in time that I went through, just kind of not being like necessarily promiscuous, but still utilizing simple relationships instead of wanting to go through something intricate again. And I think when I
Mm.
finally did enter another intricate relationship, another deep relationship that I'm currently in, it brought out a lot of past traumas and issues that sometimes you're not aware of until you are dealing with another relationship. And it's hard work. It's hard work being with someone new who did not cause trauma, who could be a
Mm.
better person. It really shows you and it really mirrors you. And that is very hard to deal with. So I think that's another reason why people are single as well.
All right.
But and
I said I
Put
was
my
letting my plane down.
no,
put my
and
hand
actually,
raised. Put my hand.
I
Hold on.
my
Put my
bad.
hand
She made
raising.
a good point. I just want to
Hold on,
address.
brother.
I'm
Put
sorry.
my hand raising back up so everyone can. And I'm out of my truck, so whoever's being rude, you can just start putting them down. Uh,
Mm.
so my thing is, right. What what's the reason why you? What's the reason? What is your reasoning?
Well,
No,
she
I
said,
can't say that because
unfortunately,
some
I
people.
feel like we
Some
should address that.
you said what?
She
What?
was addressing a previous relationship that she said, unfortunately, it ended, right? It led to another relationship.
Yeah, no.
That's
I
what
don't want
caught
to.
my
I don't
attention
want, sir. I don't want to go into people's personal life too deep.
when they
That's not
put
what
it
I
out
do.
there, and it's a discussion that we're
Yeah,
actually
I just
a
don't do that.
topic
And
that we're discussing.
I would appreciate if you just mute your mic. It's too early for me to go crazy. I don't want to do that. What do you
And
think keep people single? Anybody
It
can
is what
answer
you
that.
said earlier. It's what you said earlier. I mean, not only what you said earlier, but even if you pay attention to like the way this conversation is flowing, right?
Hmm.
Folks don't know how to read the room. Folks don't know how to be compassionate and
Mm.
just to not be aggressive unnecessarily and abrasive unnecessarily, and to listen, actively listen, to respond instead of reacting in a way
Hmm.
because they might be having an adverse reaction to what a person is saying and don't know how to control their own emotions. Like we for whatever reason, I don't know if it's the internet, the screens, we've forgotten how to respect one another's perspectives without
Hmm.
becoming disrespectful. And or if somebody brings something up for you, it makes you want to, some people just don't want to face themselves. You get what I'm saying? So
Right.
now someone's saying something that may make you feel a certain type of way, aka trigger you, and now all of a sudden you're looking at them like they're the ones that caused that, as opposed to
Mm.
sitting with yourself and figuring out why it is. And a lot of guys are avoidant. They don't want to deal with that. They don't want to sit with that. You know what I mean? So there's that part of it. You know what I mean? So it's so many
Hell
reasons
yeah.
why people could be single.
Yeah, I mean, I agree because
Not doing
you
it. Not
react
doing the
because you're
eternal
based off
work.
triggered, but then you have to look at why you're triggered. So it's like a two part. I get what she's saying. It makes sense.
Yeah, I do want to say that I do believe there's certain things, and and this is my personal opinion. I think because of our personal situations, based off his professionalism, he can't give you direct advice because that is probably a violation. But I do think in general conversations, this is my personal opinion, we don't utilize the people as Dr. Albert or some of these other people that can help, like, give us a general overview. Some people, your demons, like, you can't help yourself. Your demons are too deep to where you can't help yourself. If you were physically abused, if you were something happened to you, as like, it can be anything. And I don't want to go through, because I don't want to get turn this conversation into something bad and ugly in the morning time. But y'all use your own thought process. It's nothing that you can say to yourself, cry it out without going to see somebody, because those people are able to pinpoint the moment that you begin to feel this way, the feelings that you had that make you feel this way, and help you not get over it necessarily, but to cope and deal with that. Me being in a relationship with you, I can't help you, and you can't help you. Although you think you're helping you, that's why professionals, they understand the way the mind works and the way the mind connects to how you're feeling. And sometimes people just think like, oh, well, if I just have a conversation or two about it, or if I just come on Clubhouse or an app and dialogue about it, it'll do something for me. But it really won't, because your personal situation, if those people ask you the right questions, it's gonna pinpoint something, a moment to where it connected to how you felt, and then they're going to try to give you clarification and let you speak that out in a secure environment. Clubhouse doesn't provide that type of security. Even with your friends and your family, you don't have that type of security a lot of times. People will use your vulnerabilities against you. There's a patient doctor privilege that comes along with having these people. So I just want to say that I think sometimes some of us, not all of us, it's things that have impacted us to a way that we think we moved on, but we haven't really uncovered what really is putting us in this mind frame. And it may be scary for some of you to go back to that point, to really revisit that point to where you started to really feel this way. That's a scary place to go back from, especially if it's so far behind you in your rearview mirror.
But you have to go
I,
back.
I would I would like to like piggyback off of him. I like what he said about the conversation, and I like conversation. So like it's different with men and women. So uh, I think that when men have a conversation with each other or with others, the goal is, all right, what's the point? What's the problem? Because as soon as I hear it, as soon as I recognize it, I'm going to start thinking about the solution. We all know that. Whereas with women, when they approach conversation, it's just like, let's just talk. I just want to vent. I just want to say a bunch of words to you. But the issue that we run into is I think that men hear that and think, damn, if you're okay, you don't want a solution, you just want to talk. But the problem is the the energy of the problem that you're expressing, it now falls on me. It now falls in my lap. And my way of ridding myself of that is by solving your problem, even my own problem, when I have conversations with myself. So, damn, what do we do? Like, how do we return back to the burning building? Just like bro said, well, women, I would, and there is a difference. There's a split, regardless of what we might want to think. There's a difference the way that women look at it. So I'm like, look, if you have an issue that's on you, that's heavy on your heart, if you don't want it solved, don't talk about it. I mean, because the shit becomes disrespectful to other people when you just want to tell everybody. And listen, they do it constantly. It's not like, okay, for example, with a guy, right? If all the men on stage, if you got a bro friend and he came to you and said, "Yo, I got an issue and I just need to talk," because that is so rare, you're probably gonna sit down and listen. Like, damn, like, okay, let me really hear what you got to say, man. Get it out. Let's just do that. But with women, they do that shit constantly with every conversation, with everything they have to say. Everything is an expression, not realizing that when you express something, you're demanding for somebody else to carry it. This is why it's hard to talk to them.
Mm-mm. You're wrong.
Someone
With
expressing
all due
something
respect,
does not mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jordan,
No, I'm
because
sorry.
you've been cut off. Go ahead.
No, I was just
I
gonna
don't
say
even know
that,
why I've been
bro.
cut off.
With all due
Why have I
respect,
been cut
first, well,
off?
you got cut off
I
because
thought you were
you
done. If he wasn't done, let him finish. Are you done,
yeah,
Unknowable?
I,
you have more words to vomit out.
Jordan, give me a
all
second.
right. Okay,
Unknowable, are
fuck
you
it. I'm
done?
done. Yeah, I'm done. Fuck it. I'm done. Go
Well,
ahead.
you're wrong because here's the thing.
Okay.
No, I'm making a valid point here. Like, men, the reason why they get in trouble because when women have problems with them, or just in general, right? They immediately try to fix it. Women already know that how to fix this shit. They know how to handle Becky at work. They've already figured out 18 different ways to fucking probably cut her brake lines and all this diabolical shit. Like, they get crazy with it. All they want is relatability. They want you just to hear them out. You ain't got to solve shit. That's it. It's that simple. Men are stupid. And that's really the reality of it. Men are stupid. We just try to fix shit, bro. And that's where we fuck up. And that's why it makes women mad because now they look at us like, oh, bitch, you think I'm too stupid to figure this shit out on my own? All right, watch this. And then they go catch a charge on a Tuesday. Like, it's stupid. Sometimes, like, we just have to sit there and shut the fuck up. You over here talking about this whole narrative that you just presented of guys being like, hey, man, like, we ain't got to talk about it. I can just sit here and be
Yo,
with
what are
you.
you?
Like,
I'm
no,
trying to be
no,
very,
no.
I no. I'm trying to be very respectful here, and I'm getting really confused on the points that you're trying to
How?
make. I don't, I don't. It's just something about you right now this morning. It's really kind of irritating. I'm not trying to be rude
No,
or anything, but I don't
point it
know.
out. I'll fix it.
It's like I don't know what points you're trying to make at times, and it's just kind of and P is very
Correcting
patient at
all
the
the
same time too.
misstatements that he just previously made. That's literally what I'm
What
doing.
what did he say that was wrong? I mean, like I don't
Did
get if
you
he
not
didn't
pay
say anything
attention to
that
anything he
I
just
did.
said?
Hold on, sir. I understood what he was saying because things are rare. You'll listen to it, but you really know how to don't have any advice to get. That's why I really took out of it. You feel me? And a little and some other things, but it's just like if you when you pay attention to the chat and you listen to yourself, you have to say what people are saying. What are you talking about? I don't know. Could y'all bring up cat, please? So anyway, I want to push the conversation forward, and you could probably let's see if you can. Let's
No, you're good, bro. I
have you
mean,
ever
Okay, so
you're
chosen
fine.
lust over love?
wait, because
Have
I
you?
want to speak
Can you hear
to,
me?
I hear you. I want to speak to what Unknowable said though, because
Okay, and then when you come back, can you answer this question? Have you ever chosen lust over love, and what happened?
um, yeah, I got you. So I can appreciate the problem solving men of the world. I think you guys should be honored and respected. Um, I think there's a special place in, depending on what you believe in, heaven or heaven on earth or wherever, for men like that. However, um, I need men to stop thinking that every time a person expresses a thing, it is your responsibility to fix it. Everyone is not your responsibility. Um, just because a problem or an issue is posed, just because a person expresses themselves and speaks about what it is that they've been through, don't necessarily mean that somebody's trying to dump on you or look to you to fix it. This in particular, like on today, we're having a conversation. Um, and what I think that's what Jordan was saying, but what I don't agree with Jordan is because you kind of were doing the same thing. T Baby stated something, she mentioned something about her past, and in typical, no disrespect to you, Clubhouse fashion, folks, instead of taking the context and the point she was making, tried to focus on the situation that she'd overcome, that she'd healed from, that she's grown from, and not the point that she was making when she said, it took me opening up myself again in another situation, in another relationship, opening up my heart to be seen for me to realize that there were still some triggers that I myself needed to work through. That's the point that was being made. So there, would you say, Viv?
No, I was just saying thank you for hearing and seeing. Thank you.
No, I it resonated with me. So I absolutely heard it. And you're welcome. Thank you for sharing that. So yeah, like I was just saying, like sometimes, like in the same way that y'all men just want to be heard, there are like sometimes not. I know, society will let y'all feel like, oh, women just want to emote. We just want to dump on y'all. Like, no, some of us, if we feel safe enough to share with you in that way, would like to share with you so that you can understand and fully see us, not necessarily because we want you guys to fix a thing. If at least if you're dealing with women that are self-aware and emotionally mature, they will say, okay, look, this made me feel that way. I need to do this, or in order for me to feel better with you, I might need you to do this. You get what I'm saying? Like it's not always I'm expressing a thing so that you can show up and fix it. Again, appreciate the problem solvers. I appreciate the guys that see a thing and fix a thing. Y'all deserve to be like honored and respected. However, I also think there's something to be said, and this is no disrespect to anybody, because I myself have been in a phase of my life where I had a savior complex. I think something needs to be said for that too. Everything and everyone is not your responsibility. And sometimes there's a level of arrogance attached to us as humans where we feel like, oh, a person is saying this so I can fix it. Sometimes they're just expressing, and that's okay.
I
Man,
didn't want to.
that was well said.
Before you skate on, before
Sometimes,
Yeah, that's a mic drop
can I?
moment.
Well, just let me. Yeah, I was a fucking mic drop. Instead of you trying to fix everything, just listen sometimes, stuff like that. That's kind of a narcissistic character trait when you think that you have to, or you need to have a solution and stuff like that. So I get it, and that can be overbearing at the same time too, deterring that person going down the right lane that they probably was heading in the first place. Go ahead, Rico.
Yeah, because I didn't want to skate by this too quick. I know you want to move along to other things to asking your question about the lust and things like this. But I think this is a point in pinnacle of the conversation. Because in one a noble, he made a point that sometimes because women are so expressive that sometimes it just seems like general conversation and they just kind of venting and it's different from when a man says it because it's rare that men are expressive. So you give